Hello, today we'll discuss a bit about Manipur, one of the northeast states in India, which has been burning for at least a year and 2 months now. It all started off with a high court order that said Meithis, the one who live in the Imphal Valley, should also be declared STs and given their rights by the government in 4 weeks, and that triggered it off. That just triggered it off about a year and a couple of months previously. But it has been, to my knowledge, from whatever I know from previously and I've been reading up, has been simmering for at least 50, 100 or 150, 200 years. So the whole thing should be traced back to at least 100, 200 years. So I'll just tell you a bit about the Northeast, the geography, the international borders, a bit of history about Manipur, the famous names whom we should remember. It is not all bad there. There are some very good things there. So the geography, politics, a bit of history, places, the economics, and the international borders, and then I'll tell you my own solution, which is whether possible or not. So we've got about eight states in the northeast, and they are the Assam, Arunachal, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, and Sikkim. So Manipur has got an eastern border with Myanmar. On the north is the Nagaland. On east it has got Assam and a bit bordering another state, and on the southern side is the Mizoram. So they are all very important. Mizo has got Mizo tribes. On the north, Nagaland has got Naga tribes, and the international border is very important because the cookies of the history says have been brought from there. They didn't come on their own; they've been brought from there for various reasons. So if you go back even backwards, like I would not want to really go into dwell back into history because it doesn't make any sense. About 30, 40 years previously to about 100 years, that has changed everything, and then in the next 30, 40 years there should be a solution. If not, that will be a different thing altogether. So the Ahom king, and in 1762 was a Raja Jai Singh, and then he became a Hindu, and there is a previous history to him, and he is possibly the Methi king. And now the most important, the political geography starts. Like the whole of Manipur is about a 22,327 square kilometers, and then the plateau where the Meithis, and then in the Imphal Valley is constituted by 2,238, and so the rest of the hill areas is 20,089. So in the plateaus, which is constituting an area of about 10 to 20%, 53% of the population lives, and the hill, which constitutes 80% of the land area, 28% of the population lives. So the 51% of the population which lives in the plateau are Meithis, and then the rest of the people, the rest of the tribes live in the hill areas. And the northern hill areas are mostly Nagas, and then the southern part of the hill areas are Kukis, and down a bit more northern are the Mizo tribes. So we have to keep this in mind. And the assembly has got 60 assembly seats, and the 10% area with 53% population constitutes 40 MLAs, and the whole 80% of the land area with the rest of the population constitutes only 20% of the MLS. So this is very important, and that is where all this trouble is. So, and then we have to discuss about the international border Manipur shares with Myanmar, and the other part of Myanmar, which even the Myanmar government has not got control over, is called the Chin area. So it's a very porous border. The Meithis, the Kukis have possibly come or been brought over from Myanmar to, or former Burma to India. So they have got good contacts, the relations, and the Meithis are very good and well armed and funded on the other side. So the Meithis on this side also got a lot of help. So if you just go back to one small history, always the Meithis have been in the Imphal area, and they have always been attacked by the Nagas for various reasons, tribal, food, land, and everything. So the Rajas and the British brought the Kukis to sort of sandwich in between the Nagas and the Meithis, and then the Kukis have come here to stay, and then now they are all sort of neutralized here, and then they are demanding their rights, and that is what is all the problem about. And the last important thing is, even if you are an Indian citizen, doesn't need to be an international one, you need to take a permit to go even to visit Manipur or Imphal area, and it is called the inner line permit. Only then you are permitted in there. And then just one last thing about the population census, about whatever I could read through. In the 1961 census, Hindus were 62% of the population and Christians 19. And in 10 years' time, 2011 population show a Hindu of 41, 62 down to 41, and the Christians from 19 or 20 up doubled to 41. So that's another major thing that you should remember, right? So let us come to all the controversy, but there are some very, very good things. Like if I remind you, then you will be stunned, like all this is from Manipur. If you all remember, Mary Kom, the eight medal winning boxer, is from Manipur. Mirabai Chanu, the Olympic silver in weightlifting, from Manipur. Dinko Singh, the Asian Games boxing gold in 1998. He is from Manipur as well. And then you have to remember the world hockey captain, Indian captain Sushila Chanu. And also, if you are a good political listener, for the last 2 decades, there was this Iron Charu Sharma, who has not had food orally and had this nasogastric tube that lasted for about 14, 15, 16 years, because she wanted to get rid of this draconian law, because of which you can arrest anyone and then you don't need to be shown in the judiciary. So that is the story. And apart from that, there is some good historical saying, like possibly the birthplace of modern polo is the Imphal polo ground, and there is this biggest world floating market apart from and it is also called the land of the Gandharvas. Okay. And then one last political thing is, there is something called this the inner line permit applies to 4 states, and the other 4 states, there is the 6th schedule. They are all protected territory because they want to conserve the lands and tribes, and then the tribal autonomy and the traditional self-governance has to be looked after. So that is why the line permit and the 6th schedule. And just coming back to the economics, because most of the stuff in the Northeast revolves around economy and the land. Mainly, this is an agriculture-based economy or a forest-produced based economy for a few people. But the main thing is that there is a lot of opium cultivation running into millions of dollars that goes from Manipur across the border and then to all over the place. There is too much money that is floating around, and it is all an organized mafia that runs on the other side of the country. So that is the funding reason for all this horror to be a continuous story, right? So the Metis who live on the plateau want to be categorized as ST, so that now they can go buy land in the north and south, because at the moment they are not categorized as STs, because the Kuki, Nagas and the Kukis feel, Metis, you are all been sort of kings, so you are all well-off people. Why do you want to be an ST? The Kukis argue like, now we are not ST, we are now confined to this plateau area, and then you are occupying all the land. So where are we going to be at some point of time? And they argue like, now if you give an ST, now you are all empowered with 40 MLAs, and then you've got a lot of money, you are going to buy out all the hilly areas as well. Where are we going to go? So this is the fight. And then too many arms have come in from their Kuki counterparts from the Myanmar area, and then just because they are armed, now Nagas have found their own arms, and then the Metis have also found their own arms. Now, a month and about 14, 16 months later, the situation here is the Metis are in the plateau, got their own arm. They don't want to let anyone from the north or the south come in, and the Nagas are on the northern side. They don't want to allow anyone to their side. And the Kukis are on the southern side. They don't want to allow anyone in. They want their own chief minister. Meiti wants a Meiti, Kuki wants a Kuki, Naga wants a Naga chief minister. They want their own IAS officers, IPS officers. So it has gone so far. Like now they are armed. Nobody is going to listen to anyone. And This Christian, the conversion started about 100 years ago. They are all scheduled tribes who are really sort of nature loving and nature worshipping. So this has gone beyond a point. So now to come back, it is not that easy, right? So my solutions are, the first things first, it is not going to be an easy solution. And if I have to say, has it reached a point of no return? Almost maybe we have to say yes. So it's because it's mainly about land area and political power. The MLAs in the assembly, because Metis are 40 and then the Kukis or the Nagas can never become the chief minister and control the whole state. So that is where the point is. So what should be done now? First thing first, every single arm should be taken away from all the three groups of people. The international border should be completely sealed. The opium should be completely destroyed. The supply chain should all be completely destroyed, so that this money flow from the other side of the international border will stop. And once that is done, then we can start to give it a bit of a cooling down period and see if the old Manipur can be restored, and then a bit of a discussion here and there. If not, unfortunately, the one which I am proposing sounds a bit harsh. The northern part of the Naga occupied predominant area should be attached to the Nagaland as a state, the lower below as the southern one to Mizoram, and then the Metis at least will be left with a piece of land, most of it gone, but at least they can live in peace with their own borders and their political power. I am not sure, like the central government has got its own plans, so we should see how it follows. And the other main controversy is Rahul Gandhi has visited the state about 3 or 4 times since this all disturbance has begun. And when is Modi visiting? I don't know. Why is Modi not visiting? I don't know. And I want the answer from Modi as well. He's traveled all over the place elections wise. So he should have gone there at least once. And he should be going there as soon. Thank you.